Not many people here in Irving were surprised that Texas Stadium was not defeated in this vote today. What many people were surprised about was the ratio of the vote, which is about 2.5 to 1 in favor of the stadium. Another thing they were surprised about was the total vote, 7,805. Not more than 6,000 votes were forecast, and that's about the average vote in a city election in Irving. But with the voting completed, with the ballots counted, it looks as though Texas Stadium will be built in Irving.
As I see it at the moment, the number one problem will be raising new revenue. Some of the best estimates I can get are that if we will need between 130 million and 230 million for the biennium.
Where do you think that'll be coming from? You're the chairman of the Revenue and Taxation Committee.
Well, as not only chairman of the Revenue, which I hope to be, I haven't been appointed yet, but as chairman of the State and Local Tax Policy Committee, we published about a 40-page booklet which will be laid on the members' desk this afternoon, giving probably every possible source of revenue in Texas. And of course, if they were all enacted, it'd raise too much money, but this will be a decision that will have to be made by the Speaker and by the members of the House, and also you will have to work with the Senate along this line. Because
to your own way of feeling, what's the most logical and reasonable way at this time of raising the needed money? Will it be eliminating exemptions and sales taxes?
I would think if we can hold this budget pretty tight. As a matter of fact, our present figures indicate that as of September 1971, if we did not spend any additional new money, but just let the built-in increases go, we would have $60 million surplus at that time.
Parents were keenly interested, enthusiastic. They were curious. That many of them had questions that where they simply needed to have some clarification as to our operational procedures. But very favorable and a keen interest.
From what you've learned from the questions last night, what is going to be one of your biggest problems in the kindergarten program?
I would suspect one of the biggest problems will be helping parents to solve problems such as transportation, getting their youngsters to and from school. Many of the parents are working parents, and we will probably have to help them figure out ways to cope with that child coming home in midday or leaving at midday.
What about enrollment? Have all the parents whose children are eligible been notified? What do they have to do from now?
Letters have been sent to parents regarding medical examinations that were given during the month of December. And at this time, all of the children who were eligible, who were 5 years old in the West Allis community were notified. From this point, parents will probably receive a letter on tomorrow or Saturday, which will give them more explicit directions concerning pre-enrollment. During the week of January 20th through the 24th, parents will be asked to come to the school any day during that week to meet the child's teacher, to see the classroom, and to complete the enrollment arrangements.
The Catholic churches, the Protestant churches, and the Jewish community of this country have been working very hard in trying to get 200 tons of food per night into Biafra. It's certainly a help, but 200 tons is only a tenth of the amount of food now needed by roughly 8 million people who face starvation.
Even with the amount of food going in now, can any lives be saved, or are we talking of future generations of the children?
Well, it's very hard to forecast the future for these people. All we can do, and what we must continue to do, is to keep bringing in this amount of food, and for that we will maybe have to continue for the next year or 2 years. We don't know how long the war is going to go on. What we are hoping for is a ceasefire and shipments, thousands of tons of food to be brought into the ports of Biafra.
Is it getting worse, or have they gotten to a point where it's going to get better?
No, Atil, it seems to be getting worse all the time. For example, in July, 6,000 were dying per day from starvation, lack of high-protein foods. In August, it was 12,000 per day. November, 15,000 per day. And now, the official figure is 25,000 dying per day, mostly children in the early age group.